right. Hello, everybody. I know this is kind of off schedule, but this is something I'm going to start doing on Thursdays. Every Thursday, I'm going to put out a video like this. And I just want you guys to get educated on the battle that we're in and how America is under attack constantly. And it's up to us to join this fight. We talk about it constantly on LWN about how important it is for us to all unite and try to make that difference. So I got Gene with me today. How you doing this afternoon, Gene?
I'm doing great. How about you, Mike?
Living the dream here in the great America. And that's what it's all about. So we've got some information that we wanted to share out with you guys today. And Gene, I'm just going to go ahead and turn it over to you, and we'll put out the information. And if there's any questions, we'll do our best, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I don't know how many of you guys have picked up on the battle over Twitter that's going on right now. About 2 weeks ago, Elon Musk jumped up and bought a controlling stake in Twitter, and which, for those that don't know how that works, and by the way, it was only 9%, roughly 9% stake in Twitter. And what that allowed him to do was to have a seat on the board. And that means that you get some say in what's going on with the company, how things are proceeding, and all of that. Now, we all know, right, that Twitter's got some pretty serious things going on in the background, some algorithms and such that suppress certain information, promote other information. And of course, they've been big on the censoring front here. But I'm not saying that I'm completely sold on exactly where Elon Musk stands in this whole battle over free speech and all of that. But he's certainly stirring the pot quite a bit, right? Wouldn't you say, Mike?
Oh, he's definitely shaking things up. And I've even seen where he's got that 9%. He actually turned down the invite to sit on the board for some background check stuff that didn't really make any sense to me. And then I heard that I believe it's Vanguard actually went out just this week and bought stock. And they have a higher stake in Twitter right now than I think even Elon Musk. But Elon Musk has also put out that he's got around 43 to 46 billion dollars that he's ready to purchase Twitter.
Yeah. This fight's definitely not over, and it's interesting that you picked the Vanguard issue, because that was exactly the next place that I was going. Was the counter move by Vanguard, and why is that important? Well, why that is important is because there's just a handful of companies that literally own a controlling stake in so many entities that we interact with on a daily basis. And it's crazy how controlled, let's just call it the way it is. It's the globalists here that are controlling all of this, right? And so Vanguard made their counter move, and this thing, like you pointed out, Mike, this thing's far from over. There's a possibility that Elon Musk sets up enough investors to buy the whole thing for somewhere in the $40+ billion stake. So we'll see how that all pans out. But anyway, the place that I really wanted to go here today, Mike, in our conversation was really understanding. Okay, that's interesting, guys, but how does this play out in my everyday life as an average Joe American consumer that just is out there going about my life, right? I'm just out there buying the things that I need, right? And why should I pay attention to where I'm spending my money? Okay, so we put together this quick flow chart here just to kind of understand. And you'll notice that let's say that we buy Tide. Now it could be Tide, it could be Cheer, it could be Gain. Those are all Procter & Gamble brands. Mike, if I remember right, you were a Gain guy, right?
I used to be a Gain guy, yes.
Right. So doesn't matter whether it's Tide, Gain, Cheer, or whatever. And by the way, Procter & Gamble is probably one of the biggest, if not the biggest, consumer goods manufacturers out there. I rattle off the big four all the time, which is Tide, Downy, Dawn, and Crest. But they own a lot of other things like Oral-B and other brand names that are part of the Procter and Gamble portfolio. But anyway, you buy the Tide that's owned by Procter and Gamble, right? Procter and Gamble is controlled by BlackRock and Vanguard. You'll see BlackRock come up almost as often as Vanguard here, but
And
we
State
started off on
Street.
the
Don't
yeah
forget about State Street too.
yeah, they're one of the big ones too. That they in fact they used to be bigger than BlackRock or Vanguard. The Vanguard BlackRock thing has really shifted just in the last few years. Although don't make any mistake, it's all the same people behind those companies pulling the strings. So anyway, but that group of companies also controls the entire oil and gas industry, mainstream media, banking industry, social media. It just goes on and on and on. And then, of course, they fund
Planned
Parenthood, CRT, cancel culture. I mean, BLM. A lot of money got that a lot of money flows that direction yet too. So here's the bottom line. When you walk into Walmart, we'll pick on Walmart just for the sake that it's the easy one here, but it could be Target, could be Costco, it could be any of them. It could be a chain grocery. Mike, you and I went down this rabbit hole here a couple of months ago, didn't we? About how literally every major grocery chain, every major drugstore chain, all of them, all controlled by Vanguard and BlackRock. But anyway, so we go and spend our money at Walmart on Tide, and it just starts the flow of money. And we haven't even talked about how politics plays in this, which is
and I want to touch on a data point real quick to the listeners. That money that you spend at Walmart or even at your local mom and pops buying Crest that's on the shelf, and you're thinking, well, Mike, that's the local mom and pop store. Yeah, it is. And I support the mom and pop, but what I have to start paying attention to is what I'm buying at the mom and pop, because you're still feeding this monster. And I'm telling you guys, this is the monster that turns around and consumes us through politics, through social media, through mainstream media, through banking, all the stuff that we're talking about, Planned Parenthood, CRT. You're actually funding the monster that's trying to consume us all. And so that's why we're putting this information out there for you, because there's other options.
Right. Yeah. And I drill it down to something maybe that's even easier to paint a mental picture of. And that is, if we don't be careful about where our money goes, where we spend our money, we're actually funding our own demise.
Correct.
So anyway, the next slide that I have for you, I just picked on the mainstream media because let's face it, Mike, you're in the business of bringing truth to people and exposing what's going on in many areas here. And but we might have people that have been Fox News watchers for years and years and years. I'm sorry, I got the Procter. I got the Procter and Gamble slide next. Sorry, I was a big
time Fox supporter, man. I watched Fox every night. Dang near.
Yep. So who shows up on the top 10 owners of Fox Corp?
At the Vanguard Group.
Vanguard. Yeah.
BlackRock's not too far down.
Yeah, exactly. They're number 5 there. So anyway, that's really it's just impossible to get away from this. It just really is. And unless we deliberately pay attention to where we're spending our money and we redirect those funds. And if enough of us band together, we can get it done.
Absolutely. There's already over 3 billion people that have already made that shift.
That's correct.
And some of the companies that I am now part of, and I know some people have questions about that, but there's nothing that I will ever put out on any of my channels that I have not done my own research and dove deep into it and that I really try the products myself and I really fall in love with them. And so the company that we're talking about, 97% of what is manufactured in that company is done right here in America. That was the first thing that really caught my attention. When I can find those patriot owned companies, just like the mom and pops out there, that are supporting America and putting America first, and that's a big deal. So you see a lot of politicians on the conservative side, they're running on the premise of America first. Well, so am I. I'm running on America first too. This channel is always God first and America first. And so I try to find those companies out there that align with me, because if we all unite together and do this together, we can make a huge difference in economics here in America.
Absolutely, absolutely. So that's why it's important to pay attention to where we're spending our dollars, and your platform lwnfliptheswitch.com is a big part of that, and I hope people are sitting up and paying attention, and are willing to make the effort to change where they shop, so that those dollars no longer end up in Vanguard's pockets at the end of the day.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We did create lwnfliptheswitch.com because that's where you guys can go. We can answer more questions there. But it's a patriot owned business. I've been using their products since October, and I've got a lot of people that have switched over there with us, and they're loving the products too. My family is ordering the products, and it's a lot of household goods, and we just absolutely love them. So anybody who's wanting to spend their money wisely, that's something I encourage.
Yep, absolutely. And it's important to point out here too, by the way, when you reach out to lwnfliptheswitch.com and put your information in and ask to be contacted, you're not going to be hit by a bot or some autoresponder or anything like that. A real live person is going to reach out to you, and we're going to have a conversation with you about how it works, okay, and see if it's a good fit for you. That asking for information is not an obligation. You're just asking for information. But yeah, you're going to have a real live conversation with a patriot that's going to be helpful, and hopefully it works for you.
I hope everybody at least gives it an opportunity to check it out, because I promise you this, you won't be disappointed in it. I haven't been disappointed from day one, and they're the greatest people that I've ever worked with. Besides one of the other companies I'm involved with, the customer service is top notch. When you call, you get somebody and not a bot. You get a person. They speak great English, and they help you right through the process. And we build a team here at LWN, and the team that we have here are just hungry patriots that just want to help one another, and they really want to make a difference. And so they've joined the fight with me, and I couldn't say enough good about that team. They're just out there waiting for a response to lwnfliptheswitch.com. So thanks for joining me today, Gene. I really appreciate it, and I can't wait till next week.
Sounds good. Have a great one.
All right. Thank you, guys. Check it out. lwnfliptheswitch.com.